This is kind of the first swamp of the day. Feet have already gotten wet a little bit, but it was like just a small puddle. Luckily, it's still cold this morning, just not as cold as yesterday. And like most of these swampy areas, the water is actually not that hard to deal with. It's all the mud that I personally think is worse. For one, it's slower. In particular, in my case, with my Crocs, the mud sucks the bottoms of my shoes off a lot easier. I also have a lot more debris get inside of my socks, not in my socks, but like underneath them and stuff. And then the mud, like sometimes it's slippery, sometimes it's like I said, just a lot of suction. It's hard to see your footing. Oh man, that goes down to the knee, straight off of this thing. So yeah, given the option, I would go with like water every time. It's just more predictable. So I think there's going to be several of these kind of bogs, swamps today for the first. I mean, I think it's 18 miles till I get to the road walk into Bristol. And I think like the first half of that 18 miles is got a pretty good amount of these back to back. So like I said, this is the first one of the day. So I just came out down there. You can kind of see that that white thing right there is a sign saying that there is a reroute. And it looks like didn't really say what the reroute was for. I don't know, trail damage or flooding, I don't know, but it looks like it's gonna basically take me on some forest roads for a few miles, and it's going to skip a lot of the bogs and things that I was kind of planning on having to go through. So it looks like it's gonna add a few miles to my day, or maybe not a few miles, but it's gonna add a little bit of more distance, but it's on roads instead of swamp, so I guess it all washes out. But I think once I rejoin, it'll be mostly like forest roads and just normal trail till I get to the road walk. So it's warming up pretty good, almost back to like how it used to be, where by the middle of the day you were sweating 85 degrees heat. Not quite there yet, but I think the cold front is slowly going away. So I've had these Crocs since the Seminole Church at roughly like mile 60 or something. I didn't really start exclusively wearing them until about, well, I mean, yeah, I started wearing them like pretty much at Okeechobee, just like mile 150. I had those like tennis shoes I bought and wore for like maybe 30 miles of road walking, but so like mile 150 to like mile 850, I've pretty much worn these, and I never even touched the Velcro strap on here. When I first got them, they just fit good enough, so I just wore them as they were. And today was the first time that this one, on this foot down here, it came loose. And I think that's just from the, like when you get down in that mud, it just kind of grips on it and pulls at the Velcro, and that Velcro gets a bunch of like little sands and things in it that just loosens it up. So, 600 miles, give or take. And like I said, that's going through some kind of swampy stuff and rain and all that. And in my book, that holds up pretty good. That's a pretty good record. And I'll put it back on there. We'll see if it still sticks, or if it's starting to come off because the Velcro is not any good. I might try to wash that out if I can find a water spigot or something, just to try to help it get back to like its normal stickiness. But I would just maybe in the future, as a precaution, like maybe once you get it dialed in to like where you want that strap to be, you could try like putting like a bunch of duct tape around it, or some kind of tape, like a heavy duty tape, just to protect the Velcro from like water and mud and sand and all that kind of stuff. And then that way it kind of keeps it like new. And if you ever do need to adjust it, you could just cut the tape off, and or I'm sure it eventually would wear off or fall off or whatever, and you just replace it. But I think I will retire these at the end of this trail for sure. I mean, by then they'll have gone, almost shy of 1,000 miles. So I did buy some new ones. They're sitting at home. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to having some that actually have some traction and a little bit of arch support and all that, and getting to try those out. But yeah, I mean, for now, like, I'm gonna keep using Crocs, because I said a brand new pair is $50, and I said these were well used when I got them, and I'm gonna get close to 1,000 miles out of them. So I'm coming back up onto the end of the reroute, and technically, well, like the Florida Trail's here, you can see the orange blaze, but I think this section is still closed. So I follow this, it basically parallels it a little bit, and I think it reconnects here in, I don't know, half a mile or something. So Bonnet Pond Camp. See a couple of benches. I think most of these campsites are pretty much all the same as far as the layout. This one's fairly big though, compared to the other ones. You could get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, you could get like 5 or 6 here probably. The V-less campsite that I stayed at last night is not the best. There was only 2 of us there. I would say like you could get probably 3 at V-less, but the ground was wasn't super lumpy, but it just was not as flat, or the grass cut as short as you would really want. But I mean, it was adequate enough. So Looks more like milk than water. It's coming out of that thing too, so I'm gonna definitely filter it. So that over there is Camel Lake. This is Camel Lake Campground. See picnic tables, trash cans. There's a helpful chart. All the planes that fly over, I guess. And then all this lighthouses, St. Mark's information. And then showers. Nothing fancy, but then there's the faucet. So in order to get here, as you can see the orange blaze down there. This is the trail. And then you just kind of cut through the back side of this campsite, and that's the like bath building that I was just at. It's probably the most, I don't know what you'd call that, low maintenance, organic, natural kind of bench I've ever seen. It's 2 stumps and half a log. It's pretty ingenious. Low effort, but effective. This is the, guessing that's Memory Island Camp. A little bit further off trail than the other ones, but not terribly so. So it takes maybe a minute or so to get back here. Has the usual bench, fire ring. I mean, there's definitely a lot more space just because of the nature of where this one's at. There's not a lot of the brush surrounding it, so I mean, you'd have to clear some of this out to see how flat it is and tree roots and all that. But I mean, there's a lot of potential spots over there. I mean, I guess they're saying this is the main. It's kind of sandy, but you get stakes in it. So this is probably the biggest one so far. So Highway 12, 3 miles, which is where I'm going. So I don't think it's gonna be on a road like this the whole way, but I'll hit the road that goes into Bristol, and I think it's like 8 miles, give or take, to get to like downtown Bristol. So I might push onto that Pioneer camp at this rate, we'll see. Don't. I'm gonna have to get this fixed. I think there's just so much stuff on this strap that can't stay on there, so I'm gonna try to duct tape it maybe tonight or something. So as you can see, still going through this, I don't know what you would even call this, a swamp. Rainwater, doesn't matter really, but you know, everybody talks about Bradwell Bay. I think it's a bit of a misnomer, so I'm kind of picking nits here, but Bradwell Bay is only about 5 miles long. And while that section is the worst, or I should say the deepest section, probably the slowest to get through. When you're talking about the Florida Trail as a whole, it's the entire Apalachicola National Forest that is swampy. It's not just Bradwell Bay. Like pretty much as soon as you leave St. Mark's, you get into this Apalachicola National Forest, and it's like 60 miles until you get to Highway 12 that goes into Bristol. And not all of it is underwater. I don't even know if most of it is, but a lot of it is. And yeah, I think it just should be pointed out that it's a lot bigger than just Bradwell Bay. No, I got like about a mile left to get to Highway 12, and this forest should more realistically be called a swamp, but will just not let me get out of here on dry ground. So last like 3 miles has been pretty much straight, just swamp and water and flooded trail, and it seems like the longest stretch. I mean, Bradwell or Big Cypress had 8 miles of knee-deep water, but ever since then, I don't think I've had this much water so close together. And it's just like, I just assumed that the closer I got to the road, the drier I would be getting. It seems to be the opposite. So I guess they're trying to get your money's worth. Get all your swamp and water walking. I mean, there's like, what is the point of this? And then you're right back into the, it's not even above the water. So yeah, I think this is going to be the last of the swamps on this trail. And kind of what I've heard is the last 200 miles is a lot of road walks. So we'll see how that goes. But it will be nice to have dry socks and pants, at least. I'll say that much. gotta kill somebody. This is driving me nuts. I'm so close. I can hear the road noise. It does not look like I'm anywhere close to the road though. I mean, 2 feet of water sliding around on mounds of mud. About to lose a shoe. Pulled it off my foot. I take back every bad thing I've ever said about a road walk. Get me on dry ground. It is literally gonna be wet and muddy to the very last foot before I get to that road. Every rock in the world under my foot. I'm intentionally leaving this video long. I would like for you to try to suffer and understand how miserable this is. Been doing this. Oh, just kicked a tree. Oh, that hurt. Cannot get to this road fast enough. It's going to kill me in the process to get there. And look, it just does not end. Can I have 0.1 of dry trail before I get there? Is that too much to ask? Look, I can see the kiosk. It's right there. And it is wet. All the way to the kiosk. Crazy. Oh, jeez. Come on. Oh, looks like we get 20 feet of dry ground. How generous. Oh my God. What is this? Is there a register here? I'm gonna vent some frustrations if there is. Oh, Jesus. So I'm about half an hour away from the Trail Angel's house. I texted her. She said it was fine to stay there. I don't really know much besides like if I can camp or not, or if it's like she has a room. I'm not sure, but that's where I'm going for tonight. The hotel in Bristol was 80 plus tax. It's like more than I really care to spend. I really don't want to go all the way to what's it called, Bluntstown. So the other option was to camp at the church, but the church is past where she's at, so I'll have to scope that out in the morning. But that's probably where I would have ended up.